Yes, now we're live.
Okay. Welcome everyone to another Facebook Live with Dr. Nelva Bryant. My name is Greta Russo, and this is Dr. Bryant. Dr. Bryant,
Hello.
say hello to the people.
Wow. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And can you believe it? This is our last Facebook Live for the year. I don't know what number did we do, Greta? How many did we do this past year?
I don't know. I think we're somewhere. I think we're somewhere around 90.
We were in the 40s. We had a really busy schedule with the Facebook Lives. But again, let me back up some, guys. I'm Dr. Nelva Bryant. I'm a veterinarian, and I work in the airline industry. I work with Delta Airlines. I've been on staff with them since around 2018 timeframe. And I love everything that I do and the insight that it's given me. And what I do basically with When Pets Fly, I, in a sense, try to share that information with everyone. I provide pet-centric travel education to better prepare pet owners and their pets for air travel. And I think there's a true need that's out there for that. I was saying fairly recently, I saw this, there's a Facebook group that gives out pet travel information, but and I know the people that probably run it know their stuff, but it's interesting. There's a lot of pet owners that want loopholes or ways around regulations and everything. And it's sad because at the end, they're risking the welfare and safety of their pet during transport, not really getting the correct information they need and everything. So again, I share pet-centric travel education. In reference to that, I have a website. It's www.whenpets.com. You can find out valuable information there. We have on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So we're sharing a lot of information, I think, of value for pet owners and veterinarians too. We do the Facebook Lives. We've been doing these for the past couple of years now, and it's been great because we introduce different stakeholders, I feel, that's in an animal transportation industry, or just touching upon education, which is a key point, like I said, that's really dear to me, sharing pet-centric travel education. So that's what I've been doing these past few years. Greta, please introduce yourself. You're my marketing guru, so please join us.
Well, thank you. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I can't believe today is our last one for the year. And we did the same thing last year, and almost it's like putting the perfect bow on a present, ending the year with our next guest, Dr. Christman. I'm so excited. He's such a gem, and I can't wait to get into finding out how his year was and taking it from there. But I want to tell everyone, keep your eyes out for When Pets Fly in 2026, because we're going in whole new directions, bigger and better. We're rebranding, so we will be announcing when we do our rebrand and everything. And number two, Dr. Bryant is really leaning into being the authority in this space, and is going to lean more towards doing training and getting more people involved in this entire process, because it takes a village, people. And so, taking care of our animals, watching over their welfare, their health, and everything, it involves everybody doing it together. And I'm so excited. I can't wait for Dr. Bryant to get out there and really share with you the necessary tools for everyone to watch over your animals as they go through the airlines with us. So, Dr. Bryant, I was traveling, as you know, this past week or two, and I sat on the airplane, and it was because one of our guests brought up to us about just mentioning the noises that happen from the time you get out the car, through the airport, on the airplane, and all this other stuff. And, in the most part, I think most of us don't pay attention to it. And it's funny how things happen, because as soon as that guest mentioned that, I ended up seeing a post about in another country, they're introducing a silent airplane. And so, where it makes absolutely no noise, and it's a better travel for the pets. And I was like, that's interesting. And but I think people are starting to lean into creating a better environment and a safer environment, recognizing how, animals are traveling more and more with their people. And that brings me to something that was just posted to the social media this past week. So first of all, I love, love, love when airlines do something. Now you would think this would just be normal, but it really is not, as you pointed out one day. But JetBlue has gotten themselves back into the media again in doing something for, a pet. And I just thought it was the dearest thing. And I love to shout out great things that, these airlines might do to really show their humanity towards, our animal companions. So this was in the Aviation Circle's post that they did earlier this week. And they said a routine JetBlue flight from Florida to Westchester, Massachusetts turned scary for one family when their 3-year-old French bulldog, Darcy, suddenly started panting hard and wouldn't settle in her carrier. Her owners, Michelle and Stephen Burke, noticed her tongue and gums turn blue, classic signs she wasn't getting enough oxygen, and flagged down the crew for help. 2 flight attendants, first brought ice to cool Darcy down, but when that didn't work, they called the captain and asked to use the aircraft's portable oxygen. They gently placed a mask over Darcy's face, and within minutes, she perked up and her color returned. Photos of the little dog went viral, yada, yada, yada. So I just wanted to, number one, give a shout out to JetBlue for, doing these life-saving efforts. But number two, we talked about this before, Dr. Bryant, but we were talking about, there's, forget what it's called, I think it's pet oxygen, and how you cannot take those canisters on the airplane. And I guess they can't store it on the airplane as a part of their thing. But I was so pleasantly surprised that JetBlue had the wherewithal to think, or flight attendants drop the oxygen mask so that we can give it to this dog. And I just thought it was amazing. So I figured they must have called Dr. Bryant sometime in their life and asked what they should have done. But I just wanted to bring this up as something, that maybe everybody should think about if they're on the flight and this happens as well. But what do you think, Dr. Bryant?
Yeah, you've got some really savvy flight attendants on JetBlue that are very knowledgeable. At least somebody had some knowledge of pets, the breed French bulldogs, and they're basically being brachycephalic and how they can kind of get excited and start panting, overheat, and then getting to respiratory distress. That's basically the signs I believe he was showing. So it's great that the flight attendants recognized it and did something. And I'm really excited to see that again. We did talk about this before. There are devices available. Majority of things, and I'll just say, a lot of things that's on the aircraft are meant for public safety, and they weren't intended for pets. So I don't know if every flight attendant realizes maybe they have the ability or ask or whatever, or maybe special permission is needed to utilize it. I don't know, but just be aware everything is based upon for public safety. But maybe down the future line, maybe we should start considering what we need to do for pets in distress in situations like that, and maybe add those into some of the SOPs, things that they follow as far as any emergencies on board. But again, wonderful JetBlue decided to ask and get permission to use this for this pet. But again, savvy JetBlue flight attendants, very, very good. Very good.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, like you said, they were savvy for thinking about it. I just wouldn't even have thought of the drop the mask right out the ceiling because, I automatically assume that you have a portable canister in the carrier somewhere. But then when I read it, I remembered you said, oh, no, we can't have oxygen.
There's specific requirements. And if you think about it, as far as bringing on the aircraft, it's even going as far as you can't have lithium batteries, anything that's potentially flammable, taken on board. So there's specific requirements regarding bringing those things. Because, we talked about those oxygen canisters that they have available now that people can buy for their pets. But I don't believe that they'll be able to bring that in on cabin because it's flammable. and everything. So, but it's good, again, like I said, that they were allowed to use the in-cabin oxygen source for that acute pump.
Well, I don't know about all brachycephalic animals, but I do know as far as French bulldogs, they get overheated so quickly. And I know a lot of pet parents, they like to dress up their small animals. And, when, especially the French bulldogs, when you put like coats or anything like that over them, I think pet parents have to remember that they already run warm. So when you're putting a coat on them, you got to be careful of the environment you're in, because that can easily make them overheat. And then having them inside a container that's, so their heat is really compounded on them.
Yeah, when you think about those, the carriers that they're allowed to be in cabin with them, those carriers, I mean, some of them have better ventilation than others, but they're still kind of underneath the seat a little bit in front of you, at your feet. So ample ventilation, they're not getting it. So very easy for them any dog actually, to probably overheat in that process. So then you give a dog that has a propensity to have these issues with breathing. French bulldogs have breathing issues normally. So now we're a little bit stressed. We're now in a little confined spot that has lower ventilation. And then what do you expect, kind of thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So just be very, very careful when traveling with those types of pets. And I think this is a great place to point out Dr. Boaz Mann, who specializes in doing surgeries to help that situation in opening up the airway with a simple surgery. So, people with I can never say this right, but brachycephalic.
Brachycephalic. Yep, you got it.
Brachycephalic animals. Please, even if you just check out his website, check out Dr. Boaz Mann. He is in Florida, and he does surgeries to correct the airway and make it a lot easier for your animals to breathe. So. But yeah, I wanted to just give a shout out to JetBlue for once again, doing and I don't want to say above and beyond, because this should be normal, but they did the right thing, Right. So that is great. But you know what? We are a little under 10 minutes, but would you like to bring our friend on? I can't wait to start talking to him.
I would love Dr. Christman to come on and give his thoughts on this too. So yes.
Okay. Well, let's bring Dr. Christman to the forefront.
Hey, friends.
Hi, friend. How are you?
Good. Good to see you. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
That's right. And happy belated birthday, too. You've had a lot of stuff going on, I saw, dude.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm a Halloween baby, by the way.
It's It's funny. Time is just going so fast. You're spinning faster and faster, because it seemed like it wasn't that long ago. So you're a Halloween baby. Okay.
Yeah, I do. I agree. I feel like from September to December, you blink and it's the new year.
Yeah.
It's such a fast time of the year. It really is. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me read your bio, Dr. Christman, because I don't know who doesn't know you, but just in case there's people on here that don't realize how fabulous you are, let me tell them with this. Adam Christman, DVM MBA, is a Chief Veterinarian Officer for DVM 360, an MGH life sciences company, who oversees content strategy and development and is the brand voice and personality for DVM 360's multimedia channels. As a charismatic leader, you really are charismatic, I have to say. He brings wit, humor, and authenticity to animal health care as the host of DVM 360 Live, talk show, the Vet Blast podcast, and many media channels. Christman has also been in small animal private practice and shelter medicine for 18 years, prior to transitioning his role into continuing education and media. He received his DVM degree from Iowa State University's College of Veterinary Medicine and his MBA from Aspen University. Christman is an international thought leader, speaker, and author on practice management, social media, and rehabilitation, and co-authored Honey, Have You Squeezed Honey, Have You Squeezed a Dash Hound? I'm sorry. A pet owner's guide for owners who are terrified of IVDD, a book on dogs with disabilities. He was recently awarded the 2023 VMX Speaker of the Year on Practice Management, the 2023 Bright Minds Veterinarian Influencer of the Year, and the 2023 Iowa State University Switzer's Alumni Award. He has been featured in multiple publications as well as on TV, radio, and internet shows throughout the country, sharing his expertise and passion on all things veterinary medicine. As an avid social media content creator for animal health care, and with over 2 million followers on social media, Dr. Christman believes in power of laughing and learning together, bringing both veterinary professional and pet owners as one collective of knowledge. Bringing both veterinary professionals and pet owners as one collective of knowledge resource. He loves to engage with fellow pet parents and veterinary professionals across social media. Christman has been featured on TV such as Good Morning America, Fox Weather, and Z100, Elvis Duran, and The Morning Show. He is also the proud dog dad of 4 Dachshunds and believes no one should be deprived of the beautiful human-animal bond. Everyone, please help me welcome Dr. Adam Christman.
Greta, I feel like you need an award after reading my bio. My gosh.
Awesome, dude. It's so good to have you back with us and on our final show, just ending this year with a big bang. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on. This is great. I love it.
All right, hey, tell me your thoughts about this JetBlue situation with the French Bulldog and them providing it oxygen. That's awesome that they did that. What do you think?
That's fantastic. I think more should be really implementing something like that. I know it's typical, like you're talking about, like having oxygen canisters on board, but I think it's fantastic. I love that Paw Print Oxygen. Have you heard of them before? They're the ones that carry the oxygen tanks they have for dogs. It's a company that's really cool. And I think airlines should look into having something like that should there be some sort of a medical emergency for them.
Yeah, there needs to probably be a kit, something that's specific for pets on board. That's really just geared towards them. But the thing about it is, though, wouldn't it be great one day where they'll say, "Is there a veterinarian on board?" Wouldn't that be so cool? Right. That would be so cool if one day that happens. But I don't know if it will or not. But to address any medical emergency for a pet on board, it would be nice.
Yes, it would. Absolutely.
So let me ask you both, since you just brought it up, is there a difference between the oxygen that we would receive versus the oxygen that a pet would receive?
No.
Okay, I asked because you said there should be a specific oxygen kit. So I was like, okay, so maybe there's a different, like maybe the concentration.
Well, this company has specific masks for the size of the dog. So we were talking about the flat-faced dogs, like the brachycephalic. So they have a different type of mask, and then similar to the dolicephalics, like the dachshunds that I have, they have the long snout. So a different type of mask. So it's nice to have maybe like a few different sizes that they can carry, and it adjusts to this oxygen canister. But it can be used for any oxygen for that matter. But yeah, they use it a lot. This company also does a lot for cats because feline asthma is a big thing. And so they have it. I used it for my oldest, Chelsea, who passed away a few years ago. But when she had congestive heart failure and she had this fainting episode, syncope, I didn't have to take her to my hospital. I would give her the oxygen that this had. And, she would come out of it just fine of those episodes. So it's just, again, one of those things for those just in case emergencies, whether you're on a plane or, especially at home for pet owners.
Awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, tell us about, for people who don't know, please tell us about you and DVM 360.
Yeah, thank you. So DVM 360 is one of the leading medical multimedia publications in the United States. So it handles all the continuing education needs for veterinary professionals, so vet techs, veterinarians, practice managers, students. And so I always like to say we put the 360 in education. So we cover it all, but we do it in a fun, innovative, and dynamic way. So we have live events or conferences. Then we have media, social media, as well as virtual events, so webinars. And then the big publication, which, by the way, I'd be the first one to announce, our big publication is actually going to shrink down to the normal size publication in 2026, just to be more mindful of like trees and, being more, responsible in that way, because we got some feedback about that. So that's good. So yeah, so we do a lot of stuff. We have the podcast, the Vet Blast podcast. We just opened up as of yesterday a brand new state-of-the-art studio that we have at our headquarters here in New Jersey, where we can fly in, bring in thought leaders to have some peer exchanges and conversations and record really great dynamic conversations that can happen in and out of veterinary medicine. What I also love is that our company, MJH Life Sciences, we have on the human side many verticals. We have 58, by the way. So DVM 360 is just one of those 58. So there's ophthalmology, geriatrics, dentistry, pediatrics. So I get to exchange a lot of, best practices and knowledge with the human side of the profession. So I basically live like a One Health life every day at work. We're learning about protecting people and the planet and our pets. So that's fun. And that's where I enjoy it. I love engaging with people around the country, pet owners, as well as our colleagues. And this role is really fun in the sense that I get to do that. Plus, I have my own personal brand on social media where I tend to have more of a conversation with the pet owner side of things and a lot of students that are interested. And it's a vibe. I mean, listen, when you love animals, like it's a great place to be. When somebody says, "Oh, I don't like animals," what's wrong with you? What do you mean?
One of my coworkers said that her manager doesn't like pets, and she's like, I don't understand. And I just started laughing because I don't get that either. How could you not love pets?
How could you not? Like, okay, you're off my Christmas card list then. Like what's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you also got to pay attention when you do have pets and your pets don't like people that you might bring around them. Yes. I'm a firm believer in that. I've closed the door to many of people that my cat was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way. I won't share I'll tell you guys offline, but I learned the hard way from my dog identifying someone, and I didn't listen. So either way, learned the hard way. Yeah.
Well, we absolutely.
They really do. They have a good judgment of character. They know who it is. And also along those lines, I always like to share that we elicit the pet's perspective. Some of them don't like to be petted. Some dogs, they don't want to be hugged, or they don't want to be. So reading their body language and understanding their safe space just as much as we want our safe space too is equally important.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because, a lot of people don't realize that sometimes we project onto our animals what we think they want. When in fact, if you're listening to your animal, they will clearly tell you what they like and don't like.
Right. And interestingly enough, Nelva, too, is I do a lot of flying with this job, and there's a lot of dogs at the airport. And I see this happen quite a bit where people genuinely, they mean well, they want to come up to the animal. But when I see their body language, I can tell like they're exhausted from flying. They're checked out. They don't want to be bothered. But the owners are really, really good. They're so kind. They're like, is it okay that you just let them be? We just had like a 6-hour flight and we're just getting him situated. And the people are like, oh my gosh, absolutely. So sorry. But it's a great point to talk about in airports, because either the dogs are coming onto a flight, have a little anxiety maybe, but you see this beautiful golden retriever, we just assume that we just want to make out with them. And maybe they're not ready for that, or maybe they're on a little bit of a trazodone or a little sedative that their privacy. So yeah.
Well, you know what? You have to think about it too, and I'm thinking more on for service dogs in these situations like that. Everyone always wants to go up to a service dog and pet it and everything, but they have a purpose. They actually have a job that they're doing. The more, you treat it more like a pet. Now they might have to retrain it to be their service dog, because again, they have a job that they're doing. They're not there just as your pet. They have a job to do. So there needs to be. I always say there needs to be some type of etiquette that people should understand when you're dealing with service animals. That no, you can't just pet them. No, they're different. Everything. So during the travel situation, people have to understand that too, as far as when you see the people with their service pet.
Yeah.
Not pet. I'm sorry, service dog. Sorry.
I was in the Atlanta airport, and there was a police officer with his beautiful German Shepherd, and I just happened to see the police officer. I mean, this dog is stunning, you know. And he's like, oh, thank you very much. He's like, he's actually going on break in a few minutes. You want to see him be silly? And I said, yeah. Because he goes, look at my pocket. So he had like his favorite tennis ball. And so he gave him a command where he was literally relieved from his break. And then the dog was like, is it time? Is it time? the tennis ball down. I mean, he had a whole crowd of people that were clapping and everything because he gave him like a break, which is so cool to see. And he was just acting like a complete goofball lunatic. And then he gave him another command. I forget what it was, but then he knew he was working back to work. But it was so cool to see that. I love that.
Yeah, no, the dogs are amazing at things that they can do. And as far as, you know, they're amazing in reference to all of that. But again, when you're traveling, you just have to recognize, as far as with your service people with their service dogs or people with their regular pets going through, this is stressful. This is a lot for them to go through. So we need to understand that.
Yes, totally.
Yeah. But so you know what? I wanted to say, you know, something, and I enjoy you because I see you as the face of veterinary medicine. I honestly do. And I see you're the face for veterinarians and you're the face for the pet owners too. And I love that. But the education piece to me is so important. Greg and I were talking before this session, and we were talking about as far as what we're taught, what veterinarians are taught as far as pet travel. And I remember going through vet school, and we completed the modules to become accredited veterinarians by the time I graduated. So that was done. But outside of that, we didn't learn anything about pet travel. We didn't learn more than just a health certificate. And I just feel like education-wise, that needs to increase. We need to kind of show what veterinarians can do. Well, show more than just pet travel is more than just a health certificate. It's actually animal welfare during travel. So addressing that. So what are your thoughts on that?
100%. The only content that I've gained, I'm not saying this because you're here, is through Dr. Bryant. I mean, I've sat in your sessions and I listened at your continuing education. In fact, when I put on the conferences, those of you that are tuning in, I like to include her because it's equally important of learning this as it is doing a physical exam, because there's a good chance that at least one of your patients and clients throughout the week is going to have to travel. It's guaranteed they're going to travel. And so, you know, you don't want to throw your hands up in the air. I don't know what I'm doing. So it's good to be more informed, and it beats having a module than having these great conversations and these cases that you go over. It makes it very practical, easy to understand, digestible. Because exactly to your point, when I graduated vet school, I did those modules too to do the APHIS USDA courses, and that was it. And I just had to recertify to do them, but that basically was the extent of it. And so now we have you.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. I love the opportunity. Honestly, like I said, I feel like there's so many touch points that we can have in that whole process that we're missing out as veterinarians. So definitely in the future, want to see if I could expand on that further and share that information. But there's more that we can do than just signing a health certificate, a whole lot more.
Yes, absolutely. Did you know, and I can connect you if you don't know them, but have you heard of PADS Pass, by the way? Have you heard of them?
Say the name again.
It's called PADS Pass. It's an international passport for dogs and cats. It's an app that's going to have it's currently a couple. I think it's just Bermuda, and I forget the other country that it works in, the United States, but they're trying to get it throughout all. So it's easier to do international health certificates for that. So everything's on the phone for that, which is really cool. So I'll connect you, but I think it's like, you know, new stuff that's happening because, again, we're traveling with our pets a lot more.
Yeah.
And also in an effort of understanding, like, natural disasters happen, and you want to have like a central location of your pet's medical records. Should anything, heaven forbid, happen, you have that on board as well. So yeah, it's just another great thing and a good step forward in traveling with your pet.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure, please. I'd love to see that.
Yeah. Look at me.
Well,
here. Who am I?
If I remember correctly, I believe you just finished a whole year of Fetch conferences.
Yes.
Tell us, in case we have new veterinarians that have never heard of Fetch, please tell us more.
Yeah, so these are national shows in regional locations. So we finished up the chapter 5. This year was called the Year of Storytellers because we're all storytellers in and out of the exam room. We all have something to say. So each lecturer had some piece of advice that a mentor taught them or a book that they recommended. And so we've captured all these sound bites for for the end of the year. And Fetch is located in the 5 locations of Charlotte, Nashville, Kansas City, National Harbor, and then Long Beach, California. And it's great because we've had over 5,000 attendees throughout the year that have attended these shows. And we're really big on community collaboration and connection. So it's not giant shows, but enough to have that intimate vibe of learning and having lunch with the faculty, which are the speakers, and engaging with our industry partners in a way that's very, very collaborative, very supportive, because technology is changing so rapidly in the veterinary space, and we include and invite them to the supper table, our industry partners, to speak and learn. I don't know everything about AI. I don't know everything about pet travel, and so we want to have everybody welcome to learn. And I think it's such a great vibe. It's fun. It has a good energy about it. These conferences, great food, and also great location. So it's a great way to spend your CE time with us.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So this was your 5th year, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Yeah, going on the 6th year now doing this. So I feel like it's wedding planning for veterinary professionals. Because
well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It really means a lot. Wrapping it up and then doing it again. And, you're always like a year ahead. Believe it or not, 2026 is essentially done. And I'm working on 2027. And so it's just like, again, just that far in advance is really what you have to be doing in planning. And then, throughout the year, you'll have colleagues like, I have this great idea. Like, I want to do a collaboration with this, that, and the other thing. And so I have to figure out how that works and vibes. And then they're live events. Cancellations can happen. So it's like playing a game of Tetris on the agenda to be like, okay, if we could put Dr. Bryant here to replace this talk, and this time is at 1 o'clock and 3, it's always that's going on in my head.
We understand. And, creating events is a huge undertaking. So as an event planner myself, that's why I say congratulations. It's a phenomenal that you have gone 5 years and still going strong and coming up with new ways to present the information to all of these veterinarians. So I really do applaud you and the DVM 360 team for everything you're doing.
Thank you for that. Thank you for noticing that, because it's something that I never really appreciated until I assumed this role, is that live events are hard.
So, yes, they are.
Right?
And exhausting. So many moving parts. It's like herding cats half the time. It's just a lot.
Yes, there are times when I feel like I should go into hibernation for a little bit. And being the host of the show too, and I love it, but you're on and engaging and interacting and making sure, you're balancing everybody. Are the attendees okay? How are the faculty, industry partners? Yeah. How's the venue, with the weather, the events? Like, there's so many factors that go into play, but it's really awesome. It's like, Nelva, it's the equivalent of being in 10 exam rooms as a veterinarian is really what it is. Well,
you know what? You just keep it in the air. Keep juggling it. Throw me another ball. Keep it in the air. Keep going, right? Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you have so much energy. I can tell you from being a faculty member with Fetch, you have so much energy. I don't know where you get it all from, to be honest with you. I mean, I know outside of this, I know about your CrossFit and activities. Yes. You've got your dachshunds and home life, and I don't know how you do it all. I don't know how you do it.
Thank you so much, Nelva. Really, I come from a mindset. I mean, everyone goes through their stuff. Everyone is either going through it, has been through it, or will be going through it. And I feel like life is just so damn short that you want to make the best of it. And I really want to have fun doing anything. And I ask myself all the time, like, if it's not fun, then I don't want to do it anymore. Right. Like, that's important to me, because again, you don't want to put your energy into something that's just not going to, provide fulfillment or, gratitude. But this is awesome because, one, not to be biased, but we are in the best profession on the planet.
I agree.
There's that. So being around our colleagues and animals and all that fun stuff already makes it a fun environment. Yes, what we deal with is hard. We have difficult conversations. We have to deal with end-of-life care. I get it, but it's so rewarding and spectacular at the same time with what we're doing. When you hear those 2 magic words called thank you, it really checks all the boxes. And I invite all of you that are tuning in that have been in this profession, that you save those thank you cards, whether it's been through an end-of-life care or staying late for a pyometer or whatever it might be. I get thank you cards now in the live events and from faculty and attendees, and it fills my bucket so much, and it makes me keep going. And the bottom line is, one, to choose kindness, and two is to give joy. I mean, that's what it's all about. You want to be with the people that are going to elevate you and support you. So I think that's what life is all about.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
And again, I totally agree that, I mean, I can't imagine any other profession than veterinary medicine. Honestly, I can't even picture it. I love it. And I love that, to be honest, I love being a veterinarian. I love that it allowed me to go in a different sector. I love just the profession, how big it is and all the things we can do that's different. I mean, again, even with you, did you ever think that media and all the things that you're doing here would be something that a veterinarian would be sitting in? You know, it's amazing.
It is amazing. And that's what I was just going to say. Look at the versatility of our degree.
Yeah.
You know, here you are in the airline industry doing such great work, and here I am on the media side of things.
Yeah.
And if you told me before COVID, would I be doing this? I'm like, you're lying. Is that a thing? I didn't even know, you know?
Right.
And, you know, now that you evolve and you create your own, I did take this position right before COVID hit. And I remember saying during quarantine, like, Adam, like, you're going to do this, and I'm going to make this my own is what I'm going to do. I'm going to own it and make it my own. And, which was great. And I just kind of found myself evolving and surrounding myself by great mentors and individuals and friends such as you to give me some feedback. And, that's what I think evolving as a veterinarian is about too. I think you reach, you know, kind of chapters in your career where you can keep on going. There's, you know, many of our colleagues, as you know, Nelva, they're in their, you know, latter years and still going strong, loving practicing, doing it every day. You know, they love being the family vet, which is amazing. I love that you have that option. And then there's others that are like, okay, what else? I need something different to go into. I want to teach, or I want to go into a totally different avenue. So just lots of great options that are out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we adored DVM 360 and all that it is providing for veterinarians, whether you're, you know, just got your degree or if you've been in it for a minute. I love how it's a community, like a safe space where you all can come together, talk, collaborate, think, you know, and just relax and put your hair down. So I'm really appreciative of the fact that, you know, your community has embraced Dr. Bryant as well. I wanted to just point out real quickly that, you know, as well, When Pets Fly is actually featured on the website in the resource group as a strategic partner. So, you know, other veterinarians who who have questions around traveling and their clients have pets that travel, you know, you can go to DVM 360 and look in the strategic partner tab and, you know, find a few resources that Dr. Bryant has there, in addition to contacting her and, you know, working with you as veterinarians, because, you know, as you guys mentioned earlier, veterinarians are not being taught this specific information. So Dr. Bryant is your key resource in this area. So, and thank you, Dr. Bryant, I'm sorry, Dr. Christman, for, and DVM 360 for allowing Dr. Bryant to have a space on your tab.
Oh gosh, of course. Thank you for joining us, because we really need that information, and it does get a lot of page views and traffic. So you really are helping educate so many of our colleagues out there. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, awesome.
Absolutely.
Hey, Greta, before we move forward, we've got some comments that I don't want us to miss the comments because everything, which is awesome. You want me to click on that?
Okay, so let's see. Let's go to the comments tab. Oh gosh, we got quite a few in here. Okay, so we'll pull Lauren's up. She's got a mouthful. So
yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's Lauren.
Yes, from Pad Pass.
Great. I'm glad she came on right on time. Perfect. It's exciting to see other folks are watching us during this time frame. So thank you for your comment here.
Yes. Oh, I'm so close to Lauren. I said Bermuda and I forgot Canada, of course, you know, but yeah, the app is available, you guys, in the mobile store, and definitely check it out. And we're working towards educating veterinary hospitals and veterinarians about this as well. So lots of great stuff happening with Pads Pass. So yeah, Lauren, good to see you.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Oh, and then also we have a second comment from Carrie.
Yes. Love it.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Of Spleesh. Carrie Cook of Spleesh.
Yes.
Yes.
Pew, pew, is what we say. Okay, wait, I got to tell you about her leash, you guys, because I do every year. I do Dr. Christman's my favorite things for the holidays. Okay. And so I pick out items that I love. And last year I selected that one. And it's a leash that has, it holds water into it and it flips open. So if your dog's thirsty, especially if you're traveling, you just flip it and there's water in there so they can drink out of it. But then also it's a water gun. Should they be like coming like up with a coyote or like some prey, you get like, and so we go pew, pew, pew. And so it can become like a water gun.
Yeah.
But I just want to use it because I just like to hit everybody with a water gun. So it's fun.
Yeah. Thanks for watching us, Carrie. That's awesome. Very, very nice.
Oh, but I do like the sound effects with the pew, pew, pew. So that.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Christman, you were on GVMA. Please tell us about that.
Yeah. So Good Morning America. And so I do some of their pet expert segments. By the way, I'll be on Saturday, December 27th, you guys. So check local listings as we chat about new year, new you for both you and your pets on keeping them nice and lean with these quote New Year resolutions and how we can make sure that our pets stay nice and healthy throughout the year. So I got some good tips coming up. So that's Saturday, December 27th on Good Morning America. And yeah, I've been on. So bathing a dog on live TV, check that off my bucket list. So did that with my dog Capone, and thankfully it was great. Listen, the team at GMA is phenomenal. It really is. They're such a pet-friendly, loving channel or community or whatnot. And they're always looking at different ways that they can elevate pet owners. A lot of their demographic are pet owners. And so we do, 2 to 4 segments, 2 to 4 minute segments on, basic tips and tricks of things on pet parenting. So consider it like a real glorified in-person TikTok video is how I always equivalent.
That's nice.
Yeah. And the host, I got to give a big shout out to the host, Whit Johnson, who's on Good Morning America. Him and his wife, they have rescued and fostered. They're going to be on dog number 20 dogs that they bring to them. And then they go ahead and then they get them fostered and adopted out the door. So big family. George Stephanopoulos, got to give him a shout out too. He just got his second dog, a puppy, this week actually. So I'll be seeing that puppy soon. And yeah, it's great. And then I travel. Listen, I say to everybody, like, pets don't care what side of the aisle you're on. They don't care the color of your skin, who you love. They just want to be loved. And that's how I am too. In the same way, I don't care what channel I'm on. I just want to educate pet parents, period. And so, so I go across all of them just to, educate pet owners because there's, everyone's got such great questions and passion about learning.
Yeah, absolutely. That actually leads us really well into a banner that I have created, but pet education in the media. So, you mentioned you're doing like stuff with GVMA. Do you have other things set up? We know about DVM 360.
Yes. So DVM 360, I do have a talk show called DVM 360 Live, and that's more veterinary facing. So that's a great talk show. We're going to be going on season 3 of DVM 360 Live in 2026. So that's a new announcement that no one knows about. So that's cool, sharing that with you guys live. And so that's cool. And then, yeah, I'm going to be doing some more bits on the mainstream media coming up into 2026. So stay tuned for it. And I want to mention one thing that part of my goal on pet education in the media is a little interesting. I want to make it, and the producers know this too, is that I want to make it more elevated. So if there's a new drug that's coming out, a new anti-itch medication, it's not talked about as much. So we talk a lot about 4 tips for, to minimize heat stroke in your pets. Love it. Great. But let's take it another step further, because I think pet owners are ready to go there in the mainstream media. We learn a lot about, new drug announcements, press releases for human medicine. And I really want to bring that over to the veterinary space as well. So I'm working to help elevate that. And I know this might sound cliche, but I want to make it less pet centric and more vet centric, more about all the great work that we do in the profession, because it's so cute that that kitten got saved from the drain. But let's talk about that vet team that rescued that adorable kitten and took great care of it without charging anything because they were a good Samaritan that came in. So that's what I want to do more of showing the great work that our profession does on the other side of the exam table.
Yeah, that's good news. I like that a lot. I like that because a lot of times let me just say, a lot of times I think sometimes in veterinary medicine, pet owners don't see our side. They just maybe see the outcome of something. They might see a bill that they don't understand, but they don't see everything it takes on our side to do our jobs. So I think that's great that you're going to highlight that.
Yeah. And we are going to talk about the mental health. They had no idea. I'm really surprised about this. They had no idea about mental health and veterinary medicine.
Yeah, that's huge.
Doing a deeper dive on it. I was giving them links and resources, and they're like, "Oh, we need to cover this." I said, "Yeah, you do, because I think it helps to have a little bit of an attitude of gratitude for the veterinary profession with the hard work that we go through."
Right.
I was just going to say that I think the two of you must be sharing the same brain, because Dr. Bryant and I have been having meetings, at least for the past month and a half, that 2026 is about shifting our focus and really, concentrating on the veterinarian side of things, and, providing with the tools and resources that they need to do their jobs better, to help their clients out, and also highlighting the importance of veterinary medicine in taking care of the animals. And to both of you, I think that this is going to be really important in what you both are doing, because like you said, number one, and I say we as in pet parents, we just don't know or don't realize all that you go through. And what all is involved. And I think educating us and letting us know, it'll be like, oh, okay, I get it now. Oh, that's why that. Like, even with the mental health, like, the reason why I always wanted to be a veterinarian. And when I got to intern with one, and I saw how he had to put down, like, I want to say out of maybe 10 clients we saw, 3 he had to put down. And as a kid, and I'm equating it to human medicine, I'm like, why can't you try to do this? Why can't you try to save it? Why can't, I didn't understand that the owner wanted you to put that down. And that's got to be such a burden on veterinarians. Right. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to give up. I'm sure you don't want to take a life. And I'm sure it's got to weigh on you. So I'm glad you're doing that. And thank you, Dr. Christman.
Of course. Thank you. It's an honor. It's always an honor and a privilege to cherish the human animal bond. And that's part of it. That's part of their story, is, being there for them, for their final moments, to help them be free of pain when they cross over. So it's a change mindset that I invite a lot of our colleagues to really think about when they're there for them. Yes, it's hard and it can be draining, but you're really doing incredible work at the same time for them and their families.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, I go back to also saying, I think I said it with another guest, may have been a veterinarian too, but they don't realize the passion that we have as far as being veterinarians. This is not something that I don't take it lightly. Actually, someone said to me, I ran into someone that I knew earlier, and maybe 5 years, it was 5-year gap between seeing this person. And the person asked me, "Oh, are you still doing that veterinary thing?" And I'm like, "Still doing a veterinary thing? I'm a veterinarian. What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about?" That's crazy. Yeah.
Like it's a hobby.
Right. That's like crocheting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just crazy. But no, they just don't realize how passionate we are in reference to taking this career. Is not something you take very lightly, or just all of a sudden wake up one morning and say, "Yeah, I'm going to be a veterinarian."
Right.
No, didn't happen that way.
Not at all. No, it's a calling that happens from within. The average age, I don't know if you know, that a veterinarian decides to become a veterinarian is 10 years of age. It's the youngest professional calling of all the professions out there. And it's important to share that, because it is something that we carry throughout our entire life, that, from school, from shadowing veterinarians and all that stuff, that you want to keep your eyes on the prize, because you're that young that you make an impact. One of our colleagues, Dr. Chris Carpenter, I don't know if you know him, but he created this wonderful app called Vet Set Go. And it really helps teach children, right? Like how to, get involved in veterinary medicine. Like, you don't have to hold up a wall. You can actually participate while you're still, 9, 10, 12 years of age, depending on the hospital lets you in, to help get involved and see things. Because you and I know all it takes is that moment, to be inspired. I remember I had this one student, and I said to, I went to high school with her parents, and I said, "Go to Starbucks. just give me a half hour. We're going to hang out. I'm going to give her a tour. Would you know it? That is why she's a veterinarian today.
That's nice.
I gave her that,
Nice.
just that. Everybody has an Encanto, is what I say. That from the movie Encanto, everyone has that door. Sometimes it's our responsibility to open that door for them, to realize the gift was always there. You just need somebody to open it for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Show them the possibilities.
Yes.
So many possibilities.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Dr. Christman, in your email, you sent over a note of pet ownership in 2026. How do you see that going in this new year?
So pet ownership in 2026 is going to involve a lot of technology, which is great. So we have our Gen Z pet owners out there. We have all pet owners, but Gen Z and now Gen Alpha, which are the younger ones, which we love. So the college students out there that are now pet parenting, really involved in learning about their pets. So maybe, back in our day, Nelva and Greta, it used to be just us, the veterinarian. You would go to the veterinarian, like, my dog's got a broken nail, my dog's vomiting, what do I do? But now they're going to be going to, obviously, like, apps and using, ChatGPT and AI technology to figure it out first, which is fine. I think it's great that we're inviting all of that to the supper table about what we can chat about. And so they're going to be using that. They're using a lot more remote monitoring systems. So whether it be wearables for their dogs or for their cats, which the technology has really increased with specificity and sensitivity, which I love. So really good data. And then, remote toys. When we're working, of course, we're seeing a lot more of those things like the Furbo. You can give a treat dispenser, all those different things. They have things now for cat scales too. Purina has something called Petivity, where you can just, put the cat litter box on and measure it could do a whole bunch of parameters and vitals for them. So, the pet parent is in the driver's seat. Pet parent is in the driver's seat, and we're in the passenger seat. And guess what? That's okay. I think that's how it should be. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that have their credit card. And so we want to make sure we empower them to make these right decisions. We want to make sure that to help minimize any communication errors. Oh, no one told me that Dr. Bryant recommended this, blah, blah, blah. No, we're all aligned here, which is great. The other thing I'll say, and I'll be quiet after this, is that I think in the exam room, the pet owners are going to want more voice dictation software. So in other words, maybe the primary caretaker may not be in the room. Maybe, my husband's at work. I'll be the one, taking care of whatever it is. Do you mind recording yourself? Or do you mind doing a video, show me how to give insulin or fluids underneath the skin? They still know all the other resources that are out there, but they want to come from you, the subject matter expert. They're paying and investing and seeing the value in coming to you. So I invite our colleagues to really make sure that you're aware of that when these pet owners are coming in and they might ask, hey, do you mind if I record this? Not just because they want to do something negative against you, it's because they want to learn. And otherwise, they're going to be calling in like 20 minutes when they get home. Like, wait, when did you say to start? So start the Right. So I think a lot more technology is going to be married together with pet ownership.
Yeah,
absolutely. And there's more and more stories coming out in the news about how this new generation or younger generation, they're just not having kids and they're choosing to be pet parents. And that is really helping what was already a booming industry, really grow. So it's like, the need for veterinarians, your knowledge and, your what you guys know is so, so important. And, it needs to get out to the masses.
It really does. When I was in the green room there was an HGTV episode segment coming on, and I was talking to her, and she knows a veterinarian. She says, would you know, every single one of my clients, every single one, always wants to design their home for their pet. Number one now. She goes, it used to never be like that even 6 years ago, but they want to make sure that there's either a catio or a sunroom for their cats. Can they design something where the cats can go through the walls a little bit and have a catwalk? What does the backyard look like for my dog? Can we put ramps in? And so she was saying, this is incredible. She's like, oh yeah, maybe we'll have a kid. But right now we want to focus on their pets. So when they're house hunting and looking for an apartment, it's all about that. So I'm so glad you mentioned that, Greta, because you're right. It's the year of the pet for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Even realtors, they are and apartment and condo places, they're thinking of how to readjust what they offer, because people want more than just, 4 walls and a roof. you know, what does your place have to offer for my cat and for my dog? And even outside of what's there. So there's one company that's reaching out to Dr. Bryant. They put together almost like concierge service for condos and apartments. Mm-hmm. And so they are consulting with Dr. Bryant, you know, what would make the best living environment at this facility. And that's outside of what physically you're offering, but what other resources can we bring in or bring you out to and all this other stuff. So people are really diving into how can we have happier, healthier pets.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's see, here's a question for us. What are some pet holiday travel tips that you want to share, Dr. Christman?
So I think a big thing is to exercise them before you travel. I really am a big fan of that. I don't know what your thoughts are on Dr. Bryant on that, but yeah. I do think it helps calm them down a little bit. I mean, of course, talk to your veterinarian about, you know, exercise regimen, depending on, you know, their age and whatever, but exercising them really does give them purpose, especially if you have like a long trip ahead, whether, you know, it's going to grandma's house in the car or you're flying. I think that really does settle them down, because the anxiety, the anticipation of the unknown can really, you know, trigger a dog, you know, for that matter. So I think that's a really big thing. And then I also think that either the debate on like feeding them or not to feed them is good to give them a little bit satisfaction, but also when they stay hungry, you can keep them a little bit more engaged with high value treats to do things, you know, or puzzle feeders and lick mats that you can do like in a car or on a ride, depending of course on car sickness, but like, and also on the plane. I think those are really good, keeping them really engaged with one of their favorite toys that they love. I always feel like whoever invented the lamb chop, by the way, needs to get the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah. Because I don't know what's in it or whatever it is, but I did a piece for Newsweek about this, and I said, because it's a thing around the country, like they occasionally get destroyed, but like they take it to bed, they do all the. So we take a lamb chop over to grandma's house because that's what the weens love, but it helps calm them down a little bit. But you know, I'm curious to get your thoughts on anything else.
I'm behind you on everything you're saying there. I think it's great. Actually, my question for you is, how does Capone do? Capone travels in cabin with you, or how does Capone do?
Thank you, Dr. Bryant. Tony, I'm glad I'm sitting down when you're talking about my boy. He is so good. He really he's such a good traveler. Yeah. You know, because I flew to get him, you know, so he was already, you know, I think used to that, but he's just so long.
Yeah.
It's so long. When he does this,
you're used to the miniature dachshunds. That's the thing. He's the standard size. So yeah.
He's like 35 pounds, you know, right. So, but no, he's really good traveling. Such a little gentleman in his seatbelt and everything. But yeah, I really I'm proud that they're all are good in the car, thankfully, you know. Yeah. And I posted a video over the summertime because one that probably grinds both of our gears is to see their dog in their lap where you're driving.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And the head out the window kind of a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
it happened here in our town. There was a dog that saw another dog, jumped out the window, broke her legs, you know, because, you know, prey drive is real. It happens, you know. Yeah. So making sure that they're, you know, safety and seatbelt and all that stuff.
Yeah. As far as you saying before traveling or being on an aircraft, one thing I've noticed, have you saw recently there was some puppies that were not allowed, they were taken off aircrafts because they were whining and stuff. And my thoughts on that is, I mean, I know it's difficult for puppies. Say, like you said, you travel to get Capone. He's always been probably quiet on the flight, but those puppies that are not and whining, you got to find ways to kind of tire them out. Maybe the person should have gone to the pet relief area, get them exercise a little bit, get that energy off, get a nice toy or something, or, you know, to keep them occupied during it. And maybe that would have helped the situation. But
yeah, I don't know. How about they do that to the 2-year-olds that are kicking the seat and everything back there? I mean, come on.
I'm with you.
I agree.
But I will say, I was on a plane with a really, really sweet dog. It was an old English sheepdog, such a good dog. But what the owner did, which is so sweet, she gave out thank you stickers to everyone around her, and like a picture of her dog too, just in case she acts up. I just want to bribe you.
Just want to say before we get in the air.
Before we do anything, I'm sorry. No.
Yes.
I also like that you mentioned that too, Dr. Nelva, is that because I've seen the pet relieving stations and I've seen pet owners like run them down the hallway or down the airport a little bit, just to exercise them a little bit, get it out of their system.
Right.
There was a woman that was in one of the airport, LAX. She said, "Do you mind just petting my dog and everything, just so to tucker her out and everything and play with her?" So they're like, people are like, yeah, get over. They're like, so she's playing and doing the whole wiggle butt, and then she's like, this will exhaust her
Right.
on the plane because she feels fulfilled and has a purpose.
Right.
So yeah.
You know, the coolest thing I saw was traveling a couple months back. I went through Madrid in Spain. Do you know they have a pet relief area and they had the obstacle courses and everything around? Now it makes all sense now what they were doing. They had it blew me away because they had an obstacle course for pets, because that's how you're gonna tire them out and get them all that energy out of your system.
Right.
Go through that.
Brilliant.
But can you believe that? Can you believe it?
We need more of that.
I know.
Listen,
we're behind the loop in the U.S. I hate to say it, but we're
No.
kind of behind.
we need that. ASAP.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Oh my God. They need that. And they have like a kid zone too, so they can be all tucked out.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Pet zone and kid zone. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
They just put in Newark International Airport. They put in a high bar. Did you hear about this? This is not for animals. This is for people. But because I always said too, whenever I'm waiting, I'm like, God, I wish I could get like a quick 20-minute workout.
Oh, you want to do a 20-minute CrossFit exercise?
Right. Now they have pull-up bars, so they're doing like pull-up, champions and challenges and all that stuff. But like, I like that stuff because I'm like, sometimes I get fussy and antsy when I'm at the airport. So it's good to do that for people. Right.
Hey, the future.
Right.
We'll have a pet zone, we'll have a kid zone, and we'll have a CrossFit area for you too as well.
Do it, Dr. Bryant.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I can't believe a whole hour has blown by so fast. Dr. Christman, is there anything that you want to share before we get out of here?
I love that you have the website there. You guys, it's completely free, everyone. It's open access for everyone, dvm360.com. Great resources that are there. My website, dradamchristman.com, if you want to learn more and follow me on my socials, all that stuff. And my last piece of advice for you all out there is just to be kind. Be kind to animals, enjoy them. Stay safe this holiday season, and have a great new year. 2026 is gonna be amazing.
It'll be amazing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Dr. Bryant, do you have any last minute things to say?
I thank everyone for supporting us this entire year for 2025. Thank you so much. I thank you, Dr. Adam, for being here with us and end with a bang, a great session with you. So, and just again, thank you everyone and happy holidays.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for not only joining us for another fantastic episode with Dr. Adam Christman, but for joining us for all year long and supporting us with all of our Facebook Lives. We look forward to bringing back speakers from this year to next year, as well as introducing you to new ones. So until next year, everyone, enjoy your holidays, stay safe, and be merry. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's see. Did it say ended on your side yet?
Not yet.